This today we are going to present with Rana Pratap. Rana Pratap did his PhD in IIT Kharagpur, and he did venture capital and innovative techniques as part of his PhD program. And mostly he is involved with share markets. Even for some of the professors in our college, he used to give practical advice. So really, he is an investor, and definitely he will give you some good tips in as part of today's session. And TSM was joined in started in 1962, and it was initially started as a executive program for working executives only. Part-time evening program only we started, and slowly it got converted into PGDM and MBA program. Now we are roughly having 240 students. Every year we are having 120 students for MBA program and 120 students for PGDM program. Apart from regular MBA and PGDM program, we are offering other executive courses, part-time MDP program and other EDP program for executives. So next slide, Anand. So we have done so far with these many companies we have done MDP programs on year basis we are done. And because of this COVID situation, we are not able to do physical classes. So now we are starting with the online classes. So that will be, we are having enough series of program with the marketing department, marketing area we are having, finance area we are having. So that's also we are going to present. So these are the programs we are presenting. So this will be coming in the next month, October and November. We have fully planned. So if you are really interested, now you contact our MDP department. The address already given, shared with you. So there you contact and enroll yourself so that you can attend this program. This will be 8 session program or 12 session program, each session of 75 minutes. So this will be very much useful for you. Though Rana sir is able to help you for 1 hour, some few tips he will be able to give. But as part of full program, if you are attending now, he will be able to guide you for more number of informations. So I think today's session will be really useful, that too specific to today's situation of COVID situation, how to invest in the market. So today Rana sir will take you to and proceed with how to invest in the market. So over to you, Rana sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Arun, sir, for a wonderful introduction. Let me start. Today's session is about, the topic is very interesting, investing in crisis time, deeper insights from Indian stock markets. It's not about only stock market. So we can consider bond market, even real estate, even treasury bills, bonds, many things we can consider. Um, Ultimately, whatever you do, everyone thinks about money only. Money comes more, and money is the everything. So here in today's session, what we are going to cover, how we can make a smart money. Smart money in the sense we can. Our objective is not gambling or speculation. Our objective is making smart money by some risk, some calculated risk you will take. Based on that, how we can make a money. Let's see. If you see today's session, what we are going to learn, the first thing, how crisis affect investors, why investors are tempted to sell their stocks, those things we are going to learn. Some emotional aspects, behavioral aspects, what are the factors influence their buying and taking decisions, those things we'll see in first part. Followed by investment strategies during crisis, what are the strategies we can follow during crisis time, and how to identify the potential growth companies. This is very interesting. This thing you will get with the experience only. See, even though you are having enough capital, it doesn't mean that simply you will pump in stock market. Before that, you have to do some analysis. You should have some logical approach selecting the stocks. How we can select the best stocks, potential growth stocks. This is very important. You will learn many things here. Then I will explain approaches, fundamental analysis and technical analysis. Fundamental analysis, a lot of indicators are there, but I am not going to cover all the indicators, but two very important indicators. It's more than enough to get the best stock which is available in the market. And followed by technical analysis. Technical analysis, it's like taking the second opinion from the other doctor. Like once you know that these stocks are enough, okay, out of 500 stocks, you selected 20. Out of 20, you decided that you will invest in all 20 stocks. Based on the news, based on the fundamental analysis, you decide that you will invest. But after that, what you need to do, you need to go for second opinion, that is technical analysis. By seeing the some factors, what you will do, finally you will come to conclusion, okay, this is my best one based on the all the approaches. Once you get the confirmation, then only you will enter in the stock market. Clear? Now we will see one by one. before that is our guru, we can call it as crisis guru, who grabbed the opportunity of crisis, is the best one. Even many people are there, like Demon is there, Paul is there, all three people, I'm talking about JP Morgan head and these people. They grabbed the opportunity during crisis and they made a lot of money. So I'm talking about, he is my favorite guru. So here for everyone, Warren Buffett is the guru who captured the opportunity during the crisis time. So let me talk about his company, Berkshire. Actually, it is a cotton manufacturing company. I want to highlight how we can make a better decision. So let's take this company only. It is a cotton manufacturing company, and he met with Valley Falls Berkshire Fine Spinning Associates. And 1955, they formed as a Berkshire Fine Spinning Associates. It met with Hathway Manufacturing Company. Then they formed as a Berkshire Hathaway. And Buffett, in 1963, they purchased Berkshire Hathaway's total shares they purchased. 1965, he took over another company, BSC Management. Then 1969, he became the CEO. And 1987, BHC was doing better than the Dow Jones average, and 1988 he listed in the New York Stock Exchange. The story is not about progress; the story about how much he made. That's important. Today we are talking about investment. Let's see how much he invested, how much he made. If you see in the year 1962, when he was purchasing this company, he paid only $7.50 per share. But after that, what happened when they went for listing in the year 1998, it's almost $4,800 per share. You just see the growth in matter of around 20 years, less than 20 years, he made a lot of amount. The return, it's unimaginable, right? So it is a huge investment. How he got the opportunity, what strategies he is following, few things I will try to highlight here. Now, when the topic is investing in crisis time, investing in during times of crisis is like trying to catch falling knife. It's very risky, right? But there is a smart way to catch the knife. How we can make a good money, or we can call it as a smart money during the crisis time. Let me explain. So making money during the crisis, you can follow many strategies. The best investment strategy during crisis time is the same, the best strategy, whatever you followed during non-crisis time. So the strategy is same. Money making is simple. Highlight or identify good index funds, one or two, more than enough, and go for systematic investments. I can call it as recurring investments. So every month you just contribute some amount in longer period. It can compound like a huge amount. But the problem is, it's simple. The investment strategy, sir, you said it's very simple. I identify two index funds, go for recurring investments. In the long term, you can make a lot of money. But there are many people who will not agree with my decision. People will be tempted for short-term money, like they will go to a stock market or some other investments. There are people who grab this market bottom opportunity. When market is in the bottom, they will grab the opportunity and they will enter, and they made a lot of money, like Warren Buffett and Paul and Dimon, whatever, whoever people I'm talking, all these people, they grab that opportunity. But here, before we move to the next part, let's understand the economic recovery and stock market. So we should understand the economy also. But what is the guarantee that the economy will recover within 6 months or 1 year or 2 years? Is there any guarantee? No. We can't give the guarantee. It may take 2 years, it may take 3 years, we have no idea. But here, don't think that, okay, markets already fall down, it's end of a civilization. Don't think. Always market will give a lot of opportunity. Always market will have a lot of ups and downs. So this is the best time. Even though the best time is over, you will get best time again. And let's see the stock market. Stock market, people are saying it is V-shaped recovery, W-shaped recovery. It doesn't matter. Whatever recovery, it doesn't matter. Your objective is, don't be worried that if you invest all your savings in one basket. It's talk about old saying only, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But here, even though you miss the opportunity, don't think that you miss the money making scheme. The scheme, it is not a scheme. Here you create your own plan based on your objective. What is your objective? Maybe after 5 years you are planning to buy one house. After 5 years you are planning to buy one car. Once you have a goal, create your plan based on your risk aversion. I'm talking about risk here. It doesn't mean that if I'm having 5 lakhs, I will invest all my 5 lakhs on Monday. That is the problem with the most of the investors. Once you have 5 lakhs, most of the investors will think, okay, I will invest everything on Monday. The problem, who knows, after Monday, the market may fall more. You may get one more bottom in the market. So you will miss the opportunity. So never and ever put all your savings in one day in the market. Always wait for the opportunity. You just catch the ups and downs in the market. You need to capture the swings in the market. Based on that, you need to take a call. And we don't know stock market how much time it will take to recover. Maybe it may take more than 2 or 3 years because of ripple effect, losing the jobs and canceling the social events and social distancing. These things makes people more fear about falling sick, and people becoming more conservative. The spending is not there, so it will take more time. So here, I'm very sure investing in crisis is definitely risky, but if you are planning properly, you can make a lot of money. So how we can make a money? Before that, let me highlight how crisis affect investors. This is very important. Most of, if you see investors, always they will try to attach their emotions to investments. That's the problem. For example, let's take simple example. Many times I have highlighted this example. For example, you are betting on number 3 out of 6. Let's take it is 6-sided dice. So you are betting on 3, but the number is coming in first roll 2. Again, you are betting on 3, it's coming 2 only. But again, you are betting on 3, again, it's coming 2 only. Repeatedly, it's coming 2, but still you are attaching your emotion with your lucky number only. Maybe your lucky number 3. Otherwise, let's think differently. Maybe last 3 times came 3, so maybe you will be shifted to 3 only, but the probability is same. But the investors, they won't judge the probability here. Just they will attach their emotions and sentiments to the investment. That's the problem. But if you see the most of traditional theories, like, I don't want to highlight the key words here, but let me highlight capital asset pricing model, efficient market hypothesis, arbitrary pricing. There's many theories. Whatever theories you take, all the theories, they assume that the investors behave rationally to maximize the utility. But in real life, it's not possible. People will be panicked. Let's take the example of March 2021, market falling down. People were tempted to sell their prices, sell their stocks. But here, even the market is falling, why don't you average your stock? But there is one study, it's NAD, the agency name I forgot, NAD Davis Research or something. Yeah, they did one wonderful study. They took the last 100 years data. They studied more than 28 economic crises, the small, medium, and large, whatever 2008 crisis, dot-com bubble issue, even 11th November issue, whatever issues they studied, and they found that people who were tempted and sold their assets during the crisis, later period, maybe after 2 months or 3 months, same people, they purchase their own assets at higher price. That is wonderful study. You can go through it. So here, no need to be tempted. Always you try to average it. Average it. It's the best opportunity. And people are actually more loss averse rather than being merely risk averse. Here, if you see, for example, let's take simple example of this blackjack player at casino. In casino, casino or any gambling activity, whenever you are making a profit, okay, you are making profit of 2,000 rupees. What you will do, okay, let me protect my savings. Some portion of your earnings, you will save it, you will preserve it. Again, you will go for second betting. Whenever you are winning, you are okay, you are preserving some amount. But whenever you are losing, for example, the moment you are losing 2,000 in the first attempt, In second attempt, you are losing 2,000. Third attempt, what you will do, you will try to bet enter 4,000 so that you can magnitude or you can recover your losses. That's the problem. When you are winning, that means whoever winner in your portfolio, immediately you will sell it. If the particular stock is making losses, you will wait for the opportunity. You will think that it will come back. It's a problem. So the next part is, as I said, I gave casino example. There are many good examples. All the investors behave irrationally. So we'll see how we can judge and how we can manage the crisis, how we can manage portfolios. I'm talking about both risk aversion and risk takers. Here, always in crisis time, if you are a medium investor, for example, you are earning roughly 40,000 or 50,000 per month, I suggest to go for low risk investments only. Identify index funds, some mutual funds, and go for SIP, systematic. Don't invest everything in single attempt. And second one is, if you're a risk aversion, I will come back to that point. We have a lot of good stuff is there. For risk aversion, a lot of things I had it. In detail, we will discuss in later part. And always try to capture the consumer staple companies. Consumer staples means essential goods, food products, even tobacco, liquor companies also doing good. I'm not saying it is essential good, but still they are doing good. So all demand-oriented companies you try to identify and try to invest there only during the crisis time. Don't go for traditional way of companies. Always focus on non-cyclical and recession resistant. And for example, what IT is doing in 2020 crisis, you see TCS, you see and Infosys, they're doing good. Even the work from home, they are doing better. So for each recession, you need to identify what are the causes for the recession. During this recession, which industry can sustain, which can give the sustainable growth. Try to identify those companies, go for the investment. That's the best strategy you can follow. And the fourth one is diversifying the investments. Most of the people, what they will do, like old school of thought, the old investors, once they will invest 1 lakh or 2 lakhs, they will sit idle. They will think that work in long term, maybe after 10 years or 20 years, it can give huge return. But is there any guarantee? Take the example of West Bank, take the example of Reliance Communications. You know the story, what happened to these two companies. But always, once you are investing, whether it is in bond market or stock market, wherever you are investing, in frequent interval time, monthly or half-yearly or yearly, you try to just observe your portfolio and what are the things you can modify, whatever underperforming companies, how uh, you can add some other amount. Otherwise, you can remove some stocks which are not doing good and try to capture or try to add some new stocks into your portfolio. It can give better returns than keeping your portfolio in ideal state. And the best investment is real estate. The best investment is real estate. Even though in crisis time, what will happen to real estates? In real estate, most of the times, what will happen? The homes or plots, the prices may fall. The homes are available at lower prices. Just enter, just buy the home. The advantage of real estate is it can give some passive income in terms of rent or lease. The lease amount and rents, it can give some passive income until the time recovery happens. So this is the best investment. But other investment, you won't get that much passive income when you are comparing with real estates. And always identify dividend stock companies. There are very good companies. Always try to give good dividends for the investors. Always try to get the companies which are having low debt to equity ratios. That is the best thing you can do. And I'm giving overall view, but for risk investors, we have something. Then this is risk-free, totally precious metals. Gold is doing good. You know, last 6 months what happened with gold. You know, and during crisis, especially silver is also better option. You can go for gold or silver investments. And the problem is, I said systematically, you can go for recurring investments, monthly 5,000, 4,000 based on your risk taking capacity and your earnings capacity. But don't think that whenever, for example, I have 3 mutual funds. During the crisis, when market is falling, most of the investors, what they will do, they will stop the SIPs. That's the problem. Whenever you are stopping the SIPs, you are missing the opportunity to average your portfolio. So in the crisis time, never and ever stop your SIPs. Just continue with your SIPs so that your overall portfolio can be average. And one more thing, it's not about only systematic investments. You need to concentrate on systematic withdrawal also. Whenever you know, for example, one stock, let's take Tata Steel, your target is 30% return. It's already giving 35%. Don't wait, you just exit because your target is 35% on stock based on your analysis. So here, it's not about only SIPs, systematic withdrawal is also very important. Sometimes you need to modify your portfolio regularly so that you can amplify your returns. That's very important. And some general, I know it's theory little boring, but I'm coming to your quantitative things, just wait. And what other strategies you can follow during the crisis time? Never and ever enter into trade without any preparation. Have a groundwork, read the basics, read the fundamentals, what company is doing, understand the business model. If you understand the business model of the company, it's more than enough. Your analysis is over, just enter, just close your eyes, wait for long term. Definitely you will get good profits. But without preparation, if you are entering, it's like you don't know where it will went. You may lose everything. And choose your opportunities well. So as I said, based on the risk aversion, there is a wonderful model, Markowitz theory. They proposed how to estimate the risk aversion and how to maximize the return. And here you need to choose your opportunities wisely, whether you are looking for gold or whether you are looking for real estate or stock market or options. You have no idea. So once you know the risk aversion capacity, then only you can decide which stock or which asset class is better for you. And risk only what you can. Don't go beyond that point. For example, most of the people, all salaried people, what they did during the crisis, the stocks are available at lower prices. So most of the people, they will borrow money from your friends, from their friends, and they will invest in the stock market. They are expecting that within 3-4 months, they can make a good return. But it's very risky. It's not suggestible to anyone. So better, whatever you have, try to invest. Don't go with borrowed amount. And get out when you can. And don't think that you will wait for 1 year and 2 years. Whenever you are thinking that, okay, your target reached, better to exit. Better to exit. Don't wait and don't listen to anyone. It's your investment. The best investment is on you only. You try to get the fundamentals and you take a call. Don't listen to anyone whenever you are entering and exit. You can take decisions better because they don't know about your risk taking capacity, right? And this is very important. Most of the investors will commit a mistake here. Hit the brakes in case of doubt. That means, for example, you are thinking that you invested in a Reliance company. Already it is trading more than 2,000 rupees. You are expecting that it will reach 3,000. You entered in the market, but the problem is you have little doubt. Then you hit the brakes. That means you put the stop loss. It doesn't matter even though you are making 5% or 10% losses, but it will protect from the use losses. It will protect your savings, investments. So always, whenever you are entering the market, don't forget to give the stop losses. This is very important. Most of the people, they will not give stop losses. They will enter, they will think that, okay, once it reaches the target, then only they will sell. Otherwise, for losses, they will have a lot of patience, but profits, you will not have that much patience. But always I said, always the market is having a lot of volatility. You take any volatility indexes, volatility is more better. You can, if you're looking for long term, better you can go for index funds. If you're looking for short term, there are many options like swaps are there, derivatives are there, options are there, even forwards, futures, wherever you want, you can enter. And be careful and don't bet on only one stock and don't put your entire income in one asset class. Always try to have more asset classes. For example, you know that in this crisis IT is doing better. It doesn't mean that you will invest everything in TCS, Infosys and Tech Mahindra and some IT companies. Always you need to have different industries, and within the industry you should have different asset classes. It's the best strategy. Otherwise, if you're putting everything, you don't know where you will end. And let me show some example for long-term investors, especially people who are looking for long-term. Here, The mutual funds, I said, identify index funds. You can invest. Even mutual funds also doing better. This data is from the year 2013. If you see, for example, every year if you are contributing 5,000 per month, if it is a recurring investment, this is a return what these three funds gave in the last 6 to 7 years. If you see the ICICI Blue, they are giving 11% fair enough. It's better. The risk is less. Even Access Mid Cap, Nippon India Small Cap, they are giving good returns. It is data from Value Research. You can identify many mutual funds which are giving better returns than the even you can call it as stock markets. But identifying these things, it requires a lot of knowledge related to mutual funds and stock market also. But the question arises, sir, you are saying that, okay, the first thing is, let's summarize whatever we learned till here, then I will move to next part. The first thing is, always there is an opportunity in the market. Always you try to see the ups and downs. Based on that, you need to take a call. Second one, you should not go beyond your capability. You should take up to some level based on your earnings. Never and go for investment with borrowed funds, especially middle income people I am talking. And always I said, don't grab the good stocks and go for diversification, industry diversification, asset diversification, many things you can do. And the best one is go for index funds. Even gold also good investment, and real estate also good investment. And already you said the mutual funds are doing better since last 5 to 6 years. So now, how we can identify the stocks? The question arises, what strategy we can follow? Shall we move based on the news? Shall we go for investment based on the friend's suggestions? No, not at all. You have to take a call. Never and never rely on other suggestions. For example, if you see here, I think this is visible. Arun sir, the Chrome is visible, right?
Yeah, visible. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, if you see here, where we can identify the stocks based on the news, it's not advisable. Always you try to rely on some financial databases. Here I'm highlighting Money Control, and I'm highlighting Value Research Online, and one more thing is For Market Traders. It's a good website. If you type in Google For Traders, automatically it will come marketscreener.com. So once you are going to Money Control here a lot of things is there. In Money Control, go to markets, then earnings and latest results, and other things are there. So if you go here, recently they are publishing yearly results, quarterly results, everything will come here. So if you're looking for long term, I am giving the approach. This is the best approach you can follow for any type of asset class, whether mutual funds or stocks or anything. So here, even options also you can apply this strategy. If you're looking for long term, you just click on year and year results. And if you're looking for short term, always you look for quarterly results. There you will have best performer, worst performer, like different columns are there. Here you can see here Garnet Constructions, they are doing good, almost 1000% up. Invest, like you will have all greens. But whenever you are identifying the companies, if you are seeing the balance sheet and profit, in last webinar session also Arun sir identified, always you need to see sales, gross profit and net profit. It's like extension only. But who will have that much time to observe all the balance sheets? Here already the financial database is giving this stuff. So you see which stock is having higher sales, higher growth in sales, gross profit and net profit. You are thinking that, okay, I can go for this company, like Dhanushri Investments or something. So once you identify these companies, just then you need to move to the fundamentals of the company. So here the fundamentals, all ratios, whatever there in the accounting, all ratios we can verify. But the best thing is what you can do, you can see 2-3 ratios. These ratios are enough. I will try to rely on these ratios only, either PB, ROE, and one more ratio is there. The advantage of this one is, once you are very sure about this, no need to have a lot of mathematics, no need to do any calculation. The database is giving all the ratios. Once you observe the ratios, then you can take the call. Here, if you see here, I'm highlighting PB ratio and return on equity. Once you are doing extensive study about this PB ratio and ROE, once you get the clarity, if you are entering, definitely you can make a good returns. Let me give one example also. If you see PB ratio, the formula by price to price of the share by book value of the share, and return on equity, you know, net income by shareholders equity. No need to remember this formula. Just remember, I am comparing my PB ratio with return on equity. But formulas doesn't matter, but you should remember these rules. This rule is very important. For example, the PB ratio of the company in between 3 to 6 and return on equity should be about 20. If the company is maintaining this range, definitely in future it can be a multi-bagger. Definitely you will get huge returns, roughly 200%, 300%. So I will show an example also. This is about TVS Motors, a well-known company in this area. If you see PB ratio and return on equity of this company, the PB ratio of this company, you can see March, it is 2.85, 1.67, like that. I have data till the year 2020. And if you see the return on equity, again, I'm having 19 to 20 levels. Almost all the years, they are able to maintain about 20 levels. What is our rule, fundamental rule? The PB ratio should be in between 3 to 6 and return on equity about 20. So it is matching our criteria, but return on equity. In which year I can enter? For example, let's take 2020. If 2012, can I enter here? 2012, anyone? Yeah. So it's nearly 20. It's okay. Either you can enter in 2012, otherwise you can enter in 2013 because it's about 20. But our entry is, if any company, if you're deciding that it's the best company, it should have PB ratio of 3 to 6. But 2012, it is roughly near to 3, but suddenly it came down. That means we should avoid that company, right? But we can enter here. Whenever PB ratio suddenly fall down below 30, that means it is undervalued. Same time, you need to verify your return on equity. That means if return on equity above 20 and PB is came down less than 3, then it's your entry point. That is your best entry point. So either you can enter in 2012 or you can enter in 2013. So so our entry is 2013 or 2012. When we can exit, let's take you are entering in the year 2013 for TVS Motors. In which year I can enter? Any year I can exit. So I can exit in the year 2015, I can exit, 2018 I can exit. But you just verify, if it is not coming below 3 and every year it is increasing, better to hold it. It is 3.27. So 2015 can be your exit point. Otherwise you can hold for the one more year. It is increasing. It's good sign. If it is again 17 increasing, 18 increasing, but 19 little down is there. So your exit might be in the 18 or 17 or 16. Any year you can exit. But all the years your return on equity about 20, it's a good sign. Yes? Yes. Now, my assumption is I'm entering in the year 2013 based on my criteria and I'm exiting in the year 2018. So because after 18, it is little drop is there. Sir, how can I know that next year drop? Why you are saying 2018 exit? That time you need to go for quarterly results. Otherwise, you need to rely on the technicals also for exit. How we can decide entry and exit, I will explain soon. So you are entering in the 2012 and 13 and exiting 2000. You just any guess how much profit we can make if you are entering in the 13 and exiting in the year 2018? Anyone? You can respond. You are free to respond. Okay. Yeah. If you see here, 2000, the TVS Motors, the stock price in 2013 is our entry, right? It is available at 60 rupees and 70 rupees per share. The share price is around 60 and 70. I said my exit can be 2015. Okay, 2015, 250 rupees, almost 400% return. Fair enough. But if you are holding 2018 is my best exit. 2018 it reached almost 800 levels. So almost you are making 1600% returns if you are holding for 5 years. But if you are holding for 2 years, 200% return is more than enough. So the PB ratio and return on equity plays a crucial role to identify the multi-bagger companies. TVS Motors is one company. You can identify once this session is over, you can identify for Maruti Suzuki, you can verify Hero MotoCorp and many motor companies that did well, even IT companies also that did well, you can verify. Once you go back to your home, just verify PB ratio and ROI. Where we can get the PB ratio and return on equity, I will show you here. If you go to Value Research Online, you just type the company name, you will get TVS. You just type the company ticker symbol. That symbol we can call it ticker symbol. Just type TVS Motors. So here the advantage of this Value Research Online is one of the best website. Here you will have peer comparison also. You can compare your company returns with. This is the blue line is TVS Motors. The green is S&P Auto Index, and the gray line it is mid cap S&P BSE mid cap. You can add competitor also. That is the advantage here. You can compare with your competitors also, how the competitors are doing good. But if you don't want Bajaj Auto, you can remove. Your object only TVS Motors. Here, once you type here, you just go to financials and go little down. No need to do any analysis. Just see the return on equity here. As I said, return on equity you can see here 27, 27, 20, it came down to 20, but trailing 12 months, it is 9.77. So don't enter now. Already the exit part is over. Wait for the fresh entry again. So till 2020, they are doing good. The next one is you need to take the PB ratio also. Hardly it will take less time. See here also you can see here the PB ratio I said, if it is dropping below 3, then you can enter. It is undervalued. So it is still trailing 12 months in last 12 months. That means today, October 10, 2020, 3rd October 2019, you can consider. So trailing till 2020 PB ratio also you can see here, and trailing 12 months here data also you can see here. That means after March, maybe in April or May, you may get entry for TVS Motors. After that, it came back, it bounced back. So your entry is gone for TVS Motors, but the exit is in the year 2018 or 19. So like this, hardly it will take 5 minutes only, seeing the PB ratio and same time checking the return on equity. It's more than enough, right? Let's come back to next ratio. This ratio will be useful to identify the multi-bagger. That's it. Other ratios, many ratios are there, EPS, PV ratio, PE ratio, PEG ratio, many things are there, forward PE, but I'm highlighting only 2 ratios. Next one is EV and EBITDA ratio. EV means enterprise value. It is total value of the firm. I gave the formula also here. You can refer here. And second was EBITDA, earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization. But no need to see the technical stuff. I said you just see the EV and EBITDA ratio. What is the thumb rule? This thumb rule, it doesn't mean that you will follow same rule. This is average, industry average since last 20 years. So here, if it is below 4, if EV and EBITDA is below 4, try to avoid it. That's it. If it is 4, no, don't enter. It's your call. If you want to enter, you can enter. But your entry is in between 6 to 10. If it is coming below 10 or in between 6 to 10, always it is your best entry for your company. And if it is a 15, it is a fair value. If it is more than 20, it is overvalue. This is the fundamental rule while taking the decisions based on the EV and EBITDA ratio. So that's what we learned, right? 6 to 10 is our entry point. Let's see one company, very interesting company, Maruti Suzuki, again, motor company, only automotive. If you see EV and EBITDA ratio, this one also no need to calculate. You go to any financial database, in valuation ratios, this ratio is available. If you see the data here, March 2012, it is available at 11.27. It is available at low price, almost near to 10. What is our range? 6 to 10. So it is almost near to 10. Sir, you said if it is 6 to 10 only, you can enter. If it is coming to near to 10 also, you can enter. Nothing wrong there. So your entry in the between 2012 and 13, right? It is matching our criteria. Then your exit point might be in the 18, because I said, if you see the previous slide, 15 is fair value. More than 15, you can sell it. Even though more than 20, just avoid it. So more than 15, I can sell. So either I can sell in the year 2017 or 18. So let's take you are entering in the year 2012 and you are exiting in the year 18. Yes. So I'm taking this 6 years of data or 5 years data. You can exit in the 17 or 18. So how much profits we can make? Let's see. there in TVS Motors, we got almost 1600% returns. It was available at 50 and 60. It went up to 800 rupees. So let's see the Maruti Suzuki here. In the 2012, if you see the data here, it is available at around 1200,000 like that. Yeah, around 1100, yeah. 1100, 1200, you can see here, 2012 March data here. It's around, roughly it is available at 1100 and 1200. I said, that is your entry. You are entering in the year 2012, you purchased Maruti Suzuki at 1200 and 1300 rupees. If you see the data in the year 2017 or 18, this is my exit. 17, it went up to 8,000 rupees, almost crossed 8,000. And yeah, near to 10,000 rupees in the 17 and 18, it is nearly 9,000 rupees. Almost you are making 900% returns. That's the beauty of the observing the fundamentals. But without observing these fundamentals, if your colleagues are saying, okay, Reliance is doing good, you invest, Reliance is planning to acquire one more company, you invest in Reliance. What a big deal. Who knows the insider information? Better you just check the fundamentals first, then you can take a call. So, yes, this two ratios more than enough to identify good companies, but always you need to go for second opinion. Second opinion is your favorite friend, technical analysis. So if you're taking only decisions only based on fundamental analysis, maximum times you may fail. Once you get the clear picture about the stock based on the fundamental analysis, next part is just move to technical analysis. In technical analysis, many indicators are there, even Bollinger Bands, ROC, rate of change, relative strength index, MACD indicator, moving average, convergence and divergence indicator, many things are there. I will try to highlight one by one. I will highlight two indicators, enough to take a call. And here I forgot to mention in fundamental analysis, EV EBITDA ratio is not about entry only. If you are considering EV and EBITDA ratio, you can get entry price and exit price. What price you can enter and what price you can exit. Both the things you can do once you are taking the EV and EBITDA ratio. And in RSI indicator, it is relative strength indicator. I'm not explaining how we can derive this indicator. Maybe in future, our MDP programs, I will try to highlight the calculation, the background part. If you see the RSI indicator, always remember one thing, I'm giving the thumb rule. If it is less than 30, it is undervalued, you can enter. If it is more than 70, it is moving about 70 level, it's your exit point. So if you see the data, I'm taking the data since Jan 2020, last 9 months, what happened, I was taking that data only. If you see the data here, I'm talking about, I think this company is Reliance Industries. Yeah, Reliance Industries, you see, I said below 30 is your entry. So if you see the FIB data, FIB it is less than 30 only. You can enter here. It is available at what price? Roughly 1300. But the problem is the signal is not enough. If you see, there is not that much movement. It came down suddenly, its immediate recovery is there. So you can enter here, but otherwise better to wait because you are not getting strong signal here. And next, if you see here, next part, if you see in the March end and April first week, the RSI indicator is less than 30, even it is less than 20 also, very strong signal, here you can enter. So your entry point may be 840 or 850 for Reliance Industries. I said, if it is crossing above 70, better to exit. So I can exit here in the month of June only, or May end, I can exit. So what is the price? 1600. So you are entering at 800 and exiting at 1600 rupees, almost double return. But the problem is, you may ask one more question, sir, if you are exiting here, you are losing the opportunity. It doesn't matter. My target is 100% return on this stock, for example. So I am exiting, it's enough. Don't be tempted. Don't worry about the opportunity, profit, whatever missing, no need to worry. But again, you can get one more entry if you want, and like that, you can take a call. Here again, I will enter at some price. Again, I am getting above, if it is crossing above 70, I will exit. Again, I will wait for one more opportunity. Like that, you can take different calls based on RSI. The RSI rule is, if it is less than 30, enter. If more than 70, better to exit. And you need to observe other indicators also while taking the decision. This is one of the best indicator. The next one is MACD indicator. Let me highlight the MACD. MACD, especially it is based on EMA, exponential moving average. We'll take 12 days EMA, 26 days EMA. I'm not going that much technical stuff. Let me highlight this lines. The difference between 12 days EMA and 26 days EMA, we can call it the MACD line. The blue color line is MACD line, and the yellow color line, I can call it the yellow color only. So we can call it the trigger line. Whenever the blue color line, MACD line, is crossing the trigger line, it can be your entry point, and the moment it is going up and it is taking the reverse trend, it can be your exit point. If you see the same trend for your Reliance Industries, see the MACD line, it is crossing, and then you need to wait. You need to wait for the next reverse turn. So here it is the lowest point. So this is my best entry point. So once you identify, once you are taking the stock based on your fundamental analysis, whatever stocks you identify based on return on equity, PB, and EV and EBITDA, the next thing is taking the confirmation call from these indicators. So based on these indicators, because market, when you're taking these charts, whatever there in the market, everything captured in the price volume chart, right? So that's the best strategy. You can take the second opinion from these indicators. So here, this is my entry. I will enter at what price? Maybe 800, same, whatever we discussed in earlier based on the RSI indicator. It reached the up point and it is taking the reverse trend. So what I will do, I will exit here. It's more than enough. I'm making 100% return. Again, I will wait for the one more opportunity. Maybe it will be available at lower prices. But sir, if you are exiting here, you may lose extra profit. It's okay. You can go for other stocks which can give better returns. Otherwise, you try to hold it, and same time you need to verify other indicators also. And in technical analysis, the problem is most of the investors, they will rely on only one indicators. It will not work. Always you have to identify it. You need to take a call based on more than two indicators. So once RSI is giving the positive signal, it's okay. Then you are verifying the MACD. Whenever you are taking a call, you need to club both the indicators. Your RSI is saying less than 30, same time you need to see the MACD indicator also. If MACD is also giving the positive signal, straight away you can go ahead. Straight away you can go ahead. But here, one more indicator, I'm not going to highlight, but here, if you see the candlesticks, the upper green line and lower green line are there. And in the middle, one gray, brown color line is there. It is Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands, this central line, we can call it as a trigger line, and the upper green line, we can call it as upper bond, and lower green line, we can call it as lower bond. So whenever the stock is touching this lower bond, it might be your entry. If you are looking for short term, it's a good, because here within 2 days, within 2-3 days, you can, not 3 days, within 1 week, you can get better exit. That means you are entering at 800, within 1 week or 10 days, you are selling at 1300. It's a huge gain within 1 week, right? So your RSI is giving the signal, your MACD is giving the signal, and same time your Bollinger Band is also giving the signal. Then your whatever decision you are taking, definitely it will give huge returns. Understand? So let's recap whatever we discussed. The first thing is never and ever go for trading without any preparation. Have some groundwork, do some analysis. Once you are identifying the companies based on this analysis, then you can take a call. Then next part is, once you identify these companies, check the fundamentals. Fundamentals, many ratios are there. The sales, gross profit, those things also you can observe. But best thing is to get the multi-bagger companies, always check the PB ratio and return on equity. Once PB and return on equity is giving the confirmation, go for EV and EBITDA. As already I said, EV and EBITDA is good for deciding the entry and exit. You will get best entry and exit prices based on EV and EBITDA ratio. If you want further analysis, I will share that worksheet also. Then you are decided, you are almost 100% sure, but you are going for second opinion with the technical analysis. Check with RSI, MACD, Bollinger Band, even many other indicators also there. You can rely on any indicators. Once you get the confirmation, then only you can take a call. So this is what we are going to decide. But let me highlight some other things also. Here, the Skinner I was talking, right? In Skinner, one more advantage is you will get analysis for next 3 years also. The forecasting data is also available. Let's take a TVS Motor only or Maruti Suzuki. Yeah, Maruti Suzuki. Once you're typing the ticker symbol, automatically you will get the data. I am looking for financials. All information will be available here only. For example, sir, if you see the graph here, if you are exiting in the year month of May and June, what happening? You are losing the opportunity. How can I know that? Should I wait or should I exit my investment? So that time you need to rely on these things also. Otherwise, you can do forecasting also. But everyone will not have that comfortable level with the numbers. Always better you can rely on these ratios also. So I said if EV and EBITDA is 10 to 15, 6 to 10 you can enter. If it is a 15, you can exit. I'm talking about 2019 data. If you see Maruti Suzuki, EV and EBITDA almost reached 15 times. So better you can exit if you want to hold. For example, you are holding till the year 2020. Now you are having Maruti Suzuki. Your question is, should I exit or not? So you need to see the forecasting results. 2020, they are forecasting 30 times. 2022, 17 times. 2023, they are giving 13 times. That means till 2021, I can hold this stock, no doubt, based on EV and EBITDA. And same time, you can see the other ratios. So the P is also increasing. That means your second question is also clear. So the dust clears. Now next part is you need to see the technical analysis. In technical analysis, always you try to rely on some other websites like TradingView or Kite also is giving. So for example, I am looking for Maruti Suzuki, then I can see like this. So here in detail, if you want, you can draw the support level, resistance level. So almost it reached 70, above 70. So this is your exit. And again, you can enter, you can wait for one more opportunity if you're looking for short term. If you're looking for long term, just wait. You can take a call, right? So these charts also you can use whatever company. We are talking about Maruti Suzuki. If you see here, see, this is my entry. Maybe I can enter on 24th September. I can exit somewhere. Maybe I can wait for one more opportunity. My exit is not at now. I need to wait. So now this, as I said, you can rely on this website, Market Scanner, for future forecasting. To check the fundamentals, you can either to identify the companies, you can rely on Money Control. Otherwise, you can go for the Value Research Online also. The Value Research Online also, they will give a lot of analysis. Even they will give quarterly results also. This is best websites. Generally, I prefer. You can note down the websites names also. It's enough. Any questions you can ask now. If any further analysis or any data you need, you can drop a mail. I'm free to share the data. Yeah, it's questions.
Sir, can
Yeah.
I ask a question?
Yeah.
Chaitanya.
Yeah.
Sir, how to predict options, particularly on Thursday, sir?
Yeah, very good. Okay, I will answer your question. Anyone else? See, uh, most of the people lose a lot of money on Thursdays only. Am I correct, Chaitanya?
Yes, sir, exactly. Yes, sir.
Yes. Whatever you made profit in the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, you will lose everything on Thursday. The problem is we don't know what is the Thursday strategy in the market. Getting Thursday strategy, it requires a lot of patience and knowledge also. Thursday, what will happen? For example, let's take, you're talking about options, highly risky. I will not suggest options for students, even for middle income people. But options is very interesting. Maybe after 10 or 15 years, once you have a lot of amount, then you can go for options. Otherwise, it's little risky only. You can do option trading for your firm, not for individual. Thursday, what will happen? For example, your bank Nifty is trading at 21,000 level. On Wednesday, the closing price is 21,000, and Thursday, you are thinking that it will go up to 21,200. You took the call option. Call at 21,200 CE. It is available at, let's take 150 rupees. Each unit you purchase at 150 rupees. 25 units is one lot, Chaitanya, correct? So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah. the market opened at 21,100. Fair enough. You have 100 points away. Till 11 o'clock, it was trading at 21,120, and it went up to 180 also. Your 150 is available, your 150 per unit, whatever you purchase, it is available at 130 or 140. You are expecting that it will cross 21,200. After 11:30, what will happen if the bank nifty is trading at same level? Your 150 or 140 per unit, it will come down to 50 rupees or 40 rupees. At 1 o'clock, it will come back to 20 rupees. If you see at 2 o'clock, it will come down to 10 rupees also. At 3 o'clock, maybe at 3:20, it will become 0. So Thursday strategy, if you are doing trading with a lot of knowledge, with experience, if you are doing trading for just 1.5 or 2 hours, you can trade between 1 to 2:30, 1 to 2:30, that 1.5 hour enough. This 1.5 hour, there is a strategy called Thursday strategy. So if you're applying the Thursday strategy, for example, if it is available at 5 rupees, definitely will come down to 5 rupees, whatever position you took. You enter with strategically based on the support and resistance level. If it is crossing 21,200 suddenly, last 1.5 hour, 2 hours, anything can happen. Definitely your returns may be 100% also. 5 rupees you are purchasing, it is crossing 20 or 30 rupees. So you just exit, almost you are making 200% or 300% returns. Otherwise, if it is crossing 21,500, you may get huge returns, huge profits you may get. So Thursday strategy is totally different, and understanding it, a lot of technical knowledge is required. Definitely, I will teach you if you are interested. You can drop a mail also, be in touch. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Definitely. Thank you, sir.
And any other question? Yeah. A question from Sriram Sharma. Do technical indicators really matter for long-term investments, say 10 years? Yes, 100% Sriram Sharma. Very valid question. But if you're looking for long-term, no need to see the technical indicators. Straight away, you understand the company, understand the business. Let's like that I mentioned consumer staples. If it is essential good, no need to worry. Always fundamental analysis more than enough. But to get the exit, which point I should exit from my investment, that time you need to rely on technical indicators. For investment, no need to see the technical indicators for long term, but entry and exit you will get from the technical indicators only. For entry and exit, you have to rely on the technical indicators. Next one. I have invested all in real estate. In crisis time, no returns on real estate. Can you give a good suggestion now in crisis time? So real estate, no need to worry, sir. It will come back. Even recently, I studied one study. I will share that article also. Minimum, it will take 2 years. It will come back. It will bounce back. Real estate is ultimate destination. After real estate, the precious metals, gold and silver, followed by other things. So real estate, no need to worry. You will get a lot of passive income. Give for rent. If it is a plots, just hold it. You will get better return. Even I also recently purchased some real estate property. And what is meant by IPO and how can we check? The IPO is yeah, it's basic question only, but it's okay. Maybe IPO means initial public offer. Most of the companies, they are going for IPO only. Even they are going for FPO, follow on public offer. So they will plan for raise more capital, because all the companies, they are in deep trouble. This IPO, for detailed knowledge, you need to take some other courses. Like we have some fundamental courses like CF1, CF2, corporate finance. There in detail I can explain. It will take a lot of time. How much? Which indicators will be suitable for intraday equity? Yeah, very good question, Ram Kumar. Yeah, I think yeah, this question from my old student only. The question is intraday. Which indicator I can rely, right? Same indicator, you can rely on MACD, RSI, and Bollinger Band, stochastic RSI, Hickenson indicator, whatever indicators you are following, you can follow the same indicator only. But the problem is the time frame. But here, most of the people, what they will do intraday, but they will check their daily data or 15 minutes data like that. If you are looking for weekly trading, go with 15 minutes chart here. I think it is visible. Just click on 15 minutes. If you are going for daily trading, either you can rely on 5 minutes chart or 3 minutes chart, but intraday, either you can go for 1 second or 1 minute. So intraday, 1 minute is enough. 1 minute, but the indicators are same only. No need to change the indicators. Okay. How much can, yeah. Next one is price action or indicator. Which one is the best, sir? Both you need to verify. See here, sometimes you will get different calls like doji star, hammer, reverse hammer, lot of indicators there. You check the indicator, same time you need to check the price action also. That's why I said whenever you are seeing the technical and indicators, never and ever trust only one friend. You need to see other friends also. So you check with other people also, then you take the wise decision.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sir, how to know the entry point for gold commodity, sir?
For gold also same. You can follow the same strategy only. Both.
Then what about the ETF, gold ETF, sir? Is that a worthy option to invest?
Yeah. Even gold ETF also. That's why I said in this crisis time, instead of investing in individual stocks, always I will suggest index funds and ETFs. When you are investing in index funds and ETFs, don't put all your earnings in single shot. Try to go for recurring or systematic investments. Stepwise you can invest. So this, once you are investing in these ETFs and index funds, you will not get BP and cholesterol. Your investments are safe in long term. Already I said it is not end of your civilization. Definitely within 2-3 years you may get huge returns. So this, if you are having sound knowledge in the about stocks and stock market, that time you can go for individual stocks. And one more thing, whenever you are selecting the individual stocks also, already I said diversification is important. Same time the weight is also important. How can we know that only 30% I can invest in Maruti Suzuki, 30% I can, 20% I can invest in IT. So how can I know? By running the model. The model is Markowitz model, optimized model. Based on that, based on your risk taking capacity, I can suggest, okay, 30% is good for Maruti Suzuki, only for you only. But my case is totally different. My risk taking capacity is different. So what I can say, whenever you are looking for long term, when you are creating portfolio, always you need to check the once identification of stocks is over, then you go for optimization thing also. Then only you will get the better portfolio. Any other questions? Can you
How to assess those ETFs, sir?
how we can assess?
ETF funds, ETF.
ETFs good only, exchange traded funds, but right now the Mirai Asset ETF is doing good. Even HDFC ETF is good. HDFC mid cap ETF is there. So all ETFs are doing good only. It is available at lower price. Still, it is available at lower prices only. But which ETF is best? Again, you need to verify all those things. And could you suggest some best dividend stocks? Already I mentioned, even though I am suggesting don't rely on my suggestions, you need to take your own call. Never and ever listen to your friends, your stockbroker, whoever giving the lecture, don't rely. But for identify dividend stocks, you follow same strategies and check with the company's fundamentals, then you take a call. But for dividends, I prefer Hero Motor, even MRF is also doing good. There is one good company related to Airtel. If you're looking for software, Infratel is also good. And steel companies, definitely they will bounce back within 1.5 year. So it requires a lot of insights, then only you can take a call. Yes. If you have any other questions, you can drop a message. Otherwise, you feel free to contact me. Definitely, I will answer all your queries. And this is just one part. Many things are there. Estimation of preparing the indicators and interpreting these things. It requires a lot of time. Maybe in future, definitely we will plan for 2 MDPs, one for fundamental analysis. For fundamentals, again, the accounting things will come. And one more thing for technical analysis. If we are planning, definitely I will intimate you. Whoever interested can join. There we will discuss in detail, not about only one indicator. Here I highlighted 1 or 2 indicators only. There are many other indicators. So whoever having any other queries, you can drop a mail. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Arun sir is there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes, sir.
closing.
Sir, we can
Yeah.
close.
So
Yes, sir. Okay.
yeah. So give away. So thank you, Dr. Rana. So thank you very much. Particularly the participants from outside the TSM community. No, to all of you, we have an excellent, finance team. Finance area is one thing which we can proudly we can say we have 3 chartered accountants, and we have 3-4 PhDs as well who are done the PhDs on the reputed institutions. So finance team is very strong, both the full-time faculty as well as the visiting faculty. Okay, so that's what I hope you learned something. There are a number of MDPs and training programs are organized, particularly for the MSMEs, for small retail investors, etc. If you can feel free to contact us, for any kind of training programs as well, be it in fundamental analysis, be it in technical analysis. One thing I want to say, the least thing we want is these kind of training programs just give you the theories, the frameworks, the underlying concepts, kind of a thing. All right. So the least thing we should ask kind of thing is, give us a stock name so that I can become a crorepati. That's not the objective. Okay. So all the examples that Dr. Rana has used is only for the example purpose. TSM or Dr. Rana has not, don't have any stake in those companies. For example purpose, we need to understand the theories behind it. That's the whole objective of this. So Arun sir, thank you very much, all of you. Thank you,
you,
Dr.